Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to War in the Soul City. The coterie, the dig team, has been working tirelessly to find and put an end to this anarch threat, finding names, finding clues, finding actual anarchs. Perhaps just trying to survive the night. And so, we're going to get the thoughts of a couple of our kindred from tonight's, and then we're going to join our remaining Hakata member. But first, Rodney, you have been doing a lot of investigating with your fellow Nosferatu, no less.
Yes. Lots of questions. Lots of questions. Agatha was helpful. She put things into perspective for me that I hadn't thought to think about before. Answered a lot of questions, but in doing so, she opened up a lot more. So many questions. So many secrets to uncover.
Isn't that the way of it?
Yes. And then I went and saw Dana. And Dana created even more questions. Answered more things, but created more questions. Now I'm speaking to ask about this person, Tyler, from Chicago. A name that holds a lot of weight amongst the anarchs, supposedly. But I feel that is a clue to what is happening here.
Only time will tell. Who is this Tyler? Who is this Tyler indeed? Now, Ken may not have rolled with the Anarchs long enough to even know the name Tyler. He is instead a recent embrace who betrayed his sire, turning to the Camarilla to with the promise of more security. But with the recent death of a Toreador, Ariella Del Croix, the numbers for the Toreador and the Camarilla are waning. What does that mean? What are your thoughts on recent events, given what you know and what you don't, Mr. Tanaka?
At this point, Ken knows he's in the thick of it. He is not a very big fighter, but he knows that he has to earn his place amongst the Camarilla now. He's sad of the fact of having to betray his sire the way he did, but sorry. But he is just honestly relishing the fact that he can have a simple normal night at Dana's bar, working, listening, surprised watching Dana on stage. He never thought he'd see that kind of a side to her.
She certainly seems to have enjoyed it. She's maybe even dismissed herself to go and give herself some time alone for some busy work. But that's not where we're going to focus immediately. No. Dr. Mallows, surgeon of the mortuary persuasion, Autopsy specialist. Hakata. Necromancer. Lots of names for this kindred who calls himself Malice. Which is something that he may have demonstrated to one of his colleagues in this particular mortuary. You see, Malice has just ripped the heart out of a cadaver and started feasting upon it. The taste of that coppery flavor in your mouth, though cold, for some reason satisfies you.
That it had a resonance. I think it was choleric. Or is that
Yes.
melancholic? Okay. Right. Yeah.
It's almost like a surge of
Malice.
adrenaline that overtakes you. That taste.
Malice eats enough of it to feed the compulsion, and as soon as the compulsion is over, he's going to immediately turn around to Mercy.
Blood dripping from your face still.
Licking the blood off of his fingers. Have him.
Mercy immediately goes and rushes behind this colleague of yours. He barely has time to even react to the sight that he's just seen you perform. He's in shock.
As Malice is licking the blood off of his fingers, he's going to rake one across his teeth. And walk up and stick it in his mouth, stick it to his lips.
He jerks his head away, just kind of looking at you like, what the fuck? What
And it's
the
going to follow.
fuck? What in the hell?
Alice is going to stick the finger to his lips.
He's
reach up and
reluctant, but he stays quiet.
make sure there's enough blood on the finger to give a big smear across his lips.
Oh, God. That is... What?
If he doesn't lick his lips, Mallets will make sure to stick his finger on it, his lips to his tongue.
He's just confused, in a daze. The blood that you're kind of smearing on this man's face, in his mouth.
Part of the heart and part of my blood.
He's just standing there in shock, not really moving at all. Mercy is just kind of waiting for your cue.
So Mercy. I don't think he's going nowhere.
You sure?
It only takes a taste.
What? Your colleague just looks at you as you're kind of licking your lips and chops a little bit more, kind of taking in the sight that he's seen here. What?
Mercy, we'll grab one of the sterile cleaning uh, rags and begin wiping the blood off of his face and hands and walking towards the sink to sanitize.
You, you do realize that you have ruined this autopsy, right?
When Malice is done washing his hands, he'll put on a normal pair of gloves, walk to one of the coolers. Certainly came in a bit of a puzzle, several hearts, and just grab one of the hearts out and come back with it. Need a heart, there's a heart.
What? What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, like you would the other.
This isn't a
Take
match.
it like it goes. Well, unless they have reason to suspect, they ain't coming back to pick it up. Wanted for anything? Any wants or warrants out?
No.
Any liens? Anything serious in his name? Shit. Unless they're going deep federal and have some particular reason to dig him up, they ain't ever gonna know. Grins get misplaced all the time. Well, sometimes it happens. It's fucking surgery. That's why they dead. Sometimes the body just rejects the organs that get replaced.
Right. I was more meaning. I don't know what it is I just saw.
What did you just see?
You ripped the heart out of a corpse and started eating it.
And you ain't never gonna tell nobody about that.
I should report you.
Um,
The hospital. You know,
is there a way to enforce the bond?
you have no way of
System
knowing really if he blood bonded at all. So far, he's not really
responding at
disobeying
all.
to a command. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's simply saying things.
You think you should, but you're not going to. You can keep those thoughts to yourself.
I need a smoke.
Want some weed?
No, I'll stick to cigarettes, thanks. And he's wide-eyed, going to, you know, dress down like he's exiting the morgue, and he is going to.
Before you leave, tell anybody you're gonna wind up being the next corpse on the table.
And he doesn't say anything more. He just quietly leaves. And Mercy kind of sidles up next to you. And here I thought I was the bitch.
I don't know what the fuck happened back there. And I
Ooh,
wasn't even hungry.
what in the hell did you just do? And what do we gotta do about that fella now?
Gotta keep an eye on him. Keep an eye out. Should have just blood bonded him. Should have been a bond. Oh no.
I mean, there's no real way of telling, is there?
Well, sometimes if they've been bonded before, they have a extremely violent reaction to somebody attempting to bond them.
He didn't seem to have a violent reaction. He just seemed to be in shock. I don't blame him.
Cooperative.
Malice, your fangs were sticking out your head 3 inches.
They said, I don't know what happened. Wasn't even that hungry.
I don't think I've ever seen your mouth go open that wide before. You were nearly swallowing that thing whole. It's a good thing he's dead, otherwise he'd have been screaming in pain.
I just don't know. Came out of nowhere. I'm wondering if it's the shit with Arena. Maybe getting deeper into I'll not be fucking around with in some cases.
Yeah, 'cause what's Katarina gonna do when she realizes that you're stealing hearts off a table, quite literally?
There's who will get the choicest cuts of whatever she's looking for.
You planning on, gutting off Ridge to satisfy her?
Completely.
Oh,
I got strong suspicions she's behind some of this shit with the animals.
Well,
Whatever the fuck she had it delivered to Mr. Doyle the other night.
she was one of the biggest proponents in us getting Magdalene under wrap. You know that. She hated Magdalene.
They hated each other.
Yeah, for more than a bunch of reasons.
That doesn't mean that they didn't work with someone behind each other's backs.
I don't know.
Joseph has a big part in whatever's going on with their plans. I don't know what the fuck he's doing done with Willow, but it ain't done too good. Shit. We need to at some point have a conversation with Dana about in particular, but we need to get cleaned up, grab the shit we came in for, and get the fuck out of here. Let him do the rest of his shit.
I'm waiting on you. You're the one with the cooler, remember?
Yeah. Load up the cooler, everything up. Make sure the heart is on a scale for him when he comes back for the autopsy he's working on. Get the fuck out. Still wearing the gloves that he put on after washing his hands from the blood. Only after walking out the door, pulling them off.
And
getting them in a pocket.
You can't help but notice that looking down at your shirt, though, there are some stains. There are some stains on that shirt and on your jacket now.
Yeah. Many. I even take a stain for this.
You look like a baby who's dribbled all over himself.
It happens. Just my face is clean.
At least there's that. It's a good thing he was the only person who saw.
Is there the lab coat possibly hanging up in the corner on the way out?
Your colleagues. He did not take it with him.
Besides his. So it's just his.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, I'll leave his. Yeah. I just grab the cooler and walk out. Like I said, and as I walk out the door, I'm gonna take the gloves off and put them in my pocket.
Mm-hmm. So you and Mercy exit the hospital with some fresh organs in tow for making breakfast smoothies, should you so desire. Or to package up and just leave in the fridge, as is. The gruesome and grotesque things that those who eat the flesh of the dead go to, the lengths they go to acquire and feast upon the things they need for sustenance. Stealing from literal dead people. But we're gonna switch up gears a little bit, and we're gonna check in with Ken. Still at the armory. Still maintaining his delightful duties as a barback. Learning the ropes. Getting an idea of the kinds of people that Dana apparently finds herself fitting in with nicely in this little bar on the side of the road. And every minute that you stand in this particular bar, Ken, you are feeling slightly uncomfortable. It's certainly not your aesthetic. No, Dana has an aesthetic all her own. These miscreants in this bar are rough, abrasive, not very good to look at. What in the world does she see in this place? What does she see in the people in this place?
When it comes to Dana, that is the least of the things that I wonder, but something I wonder all the same.
It's late into the night, and Ted is showing you some of the closing ropes in wrapping up everything, kind of getting things all together and making sure that every glass is clean, every bottle is topped, every tap is cleaned, and getting ready to close out the night this early 4:30 in the morning.
I would go about my duties and look for Persian if she, when she's done her work, and try to corner her and maybe have a conversation.
she's doing her part in helping the front of the house get situated for closing up, putting chairs on tables after they're wiped down and cleaned, stacking coasters. You know, the things that, you know, a waitress might do, but she's far from being a waitress. She's more the regular stage performer slash eye candy of this place besides Dana. And but definitely makes herself useful. Makes sure that her fellow bandmates are also making themselves useful in this particular moment, as she seems to command them with a little bit of an authority that's seen them grumpily refuse to help in the past, making snide remarks at them. But she is conveniently going to one of the tables in the corner to and starts lifting the chairs after the table's cleaned, and stacking them on there, and notices when you start to approach. Oh, hi.
Hello. I don't think we've met yet. I'm Ken. I'm new here.
Nice to meet you, Ken. I'm Persian.
Yes, I hadn't. Well, I wouldn't say I had an idea, but I heard that you might need a bass player.
Oh, no. Really? Dana asked you?
No, Dana hadn't asked me. It's probably going to be the hardest sell, but I used to play when I was younger. And I
How
happen to
much
know
younger?
all.
You look like you're 22. Are we talking high
I
school bass? High
I
school
learned
jazz band bass playing. My god.
I learned when I was in the orphanage. They had a music program.
You're an
They
orphan?
yes.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. I have a family of sorts. It's I've never been found wanting in that aspect.
Well, that's good. I mean, like, everybody has parents, right?
Yes.
Whether they're adopted or real. Oh god,
True.
that's an awkward way to put that. Jesus.
It's okay.
Look,
I
I'm fucking up this conversation, so you said you can play bass.
yes, it might take a little bit to get back into the swing of things, but if you need one, I can try.
There's a bass guitar over there. Prove it.
Okay, let's see if I can knock the rust off.
And so you walk over to the uh to the stage where the unused bass for tonight kind of just stands against the wall. It seems that the band keeps all of their instruments together, you know, in case they need to fill in, or in case they have other obligations. It looks like it might be the spare kind of a thing. It doesn't look like it's been used very much. It's pretty new. It's very, very smooth on the body. The finish of it's not nicked at all. It's a nice bass guitar, if a little boring. But you begin to pluck away at the strings, and I need you to make me a... I'm going to call for dexterity performance.
Okay, I will, so I'm trying to make a good impression. I will rouse the blood for this.
Go for it. That'll give you a +2.
If it wants to go through.
Let's try turning the API off on the character sheet, because that might be... I might have had to reset that again.
Okay, so I click the thing at the top, right?
Right.
Alright, let's try this again.
I like the API. It just breaks all the time. But that little guttural feeling in the bottom of your stomach gets louder. You look at Persian and you can't help but have your eyes trail along that supple neck. Damn. You begin to wonder, what in the world does she taste like? A metalhead. A woman who makes a living out of screaming and singing to her heart's content. What kind of fuel kindles in that fire? What kind of spark is there in that? You wonder... all of these little things. What hunger are you at, Mr. Tanaka?
I'm at hunger 3.
So it's not enough to overpower you, but... oh, man. She is gorgeous in all of the food kind of ways. To you right now.
I'll try to push that on the back of my mind. Start tuning the bass up.
Mm-hmm.
And then just kind of start playing some of my favorite songs. Let's see how I do.
And don't forget, you add your new hunger dice after this roll is made. So you make your roll and then you raise your hunger.
Oh, hold on. Okay, sorry. I had to exit out of everything and do it again.
Oh, that's fine. Just wanted to remind you that that's the order and things.
It's good to know.
Whew. My good sir, it seems that the rest on those fingers was surface level. You begin tuning the guitar to your liking, and then when the right note strikes you in the little bit of warm up that you're doing, you start to perform a riff on the bass that would make professional musicians bat an eye. At 7 successes, you nimbly glide your fingers along the strings. You pluck ever so perfectly at them as well, creating probably the most impressive bass riff that Persian has ever seen. She is gobsmacked. Her mouth is just hanging open in surprise. She really cannot believe that such a prim and proper looking man would have what seems to be a very proficient background in playing bass. Not just some high school jazz band kid. No, this is. You can see it on her face. She looks like she's looking at a god.
After I'm done, I'll put the bass back and walk down. And, well, don't have as much rust as I thought I did, but
That solo clap coming from her kind of just fuels your ego a little bit. You can't help but feel like your peacock feathers have just been ruffled in the right way. Wow. Wow. When. And how do you know Dana?
oh, she found me, and I needed a job, so she thought I could be some eye candy on the bar.
Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. You are not going to be eye candy on the bar. You are going to be eye candy on my stage. You can't show me up because I'm the leader here, but when are you available for a jam session?
Unless something comes up, we can do most nights. I'm quite busy during the day.
I mean, obviously, but wow. And when you look over at Ted, the most you kind of get from him is kind of a quirked eyebrow when he goes back to doing his duties, seeming like he might be slightly perturbed that you're spending time away from actually doing any work. But he shows very little on that on his face. Just kind of looking over at you repeatedly.
I better get back to work. We still have to convince the boss lady that this is a good idea.
Oh, I don't think there's gonna. I don't think that there's gonna be much convincing at all. Not if you, not if you can do that. I wouldn't be surprised if she heard it from the office. In fact, I'm gonna go talk to her right now, and I'm gonna make sure that she's fully aware that I'm stealing you.
Ken will just get a smile on his face and say, "Well, if you think that's best, I'll get back to work and I'll leave you to it then."
Oh, I'm not leaving her any choice. And she kind of just, you know, almost gleefully starts heading back to the back into the back of the back of the bar, where she knows where Dana likes to hide out when doing all of her officely duties. But that leaves you with Ted. Any and all other patrons and staff and other such interesting people have left for the day. And Ted is just finishing up with the last of the dishes that needed to be put in their correct spots in the bar and in the cabinets and things of that sort around the area. And he kind of just looks at you with that kind of blank look. Ready to close up?
Sorry, Yeah, sorry I slacked off a little bit at the end, but I saw an opportunity I couldn't resist.
Apparently.
I'll
Opportunities
get
rarely
deployed.
find themselves. Opportunities rarely find themselves at your door, so take advantage of them when you can. But, I don't know. You seemed. How would you describe yourself, Mr. Tanaka? How did it feel?
Felt like I was in a different place, a different time. Didn't have to worry about anything. I just kind of lost myself.
Lost yourself in your past?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, let's lock up here. And he takes a set of keys out of his pocket and goes toward the back door after Dana and Persian have long left. He goes and locks the back door and then comes back to the front and locks the front door as the two of you exit the building. His car's kind of parked out here in the front, uh, kind of a little ways away from the initial entrance, but not terribly far to walk. The the parking lot is lit well enough, with the neon lights of um, the other businesses around this area, as well as the overhead lights. And it's a fairly bright night out today, with the moon fairly full. But you know that morning is coming fairly soon. And Ted just kind of walks to his car and kind of looks at you. Do you have a car?
Um, ST, would we still have the car that I drove away from what's her name? The what was it, the Bentley or something like that?
Oh,
Uh,
we're talking about Willow's car.
yes.
Yeah, Willow's car.
Um, I don't recall.
Because I parked it out back and the when we got back. If it's still there, I'd be using it till I could get my own until someone claimed it. But
Um,
I thought it was in the private parking garage for the hotel.
yeah.
it would be at the parking garage for the hotel. Then you must have come with Dana.
Oh, then
That was
um
where it got parked so that it could be hidden. Stay out of sight for the hotel.
I came with Dana tonight. I guess she already went back.
Yeah, it seems like she was leaving with Persian. Do you need a ride, kid?
If you wouldn't mind, that would be wonderful.
Get in. And he goes to the driver's seat, unlocks the doors to the car, and kind of and settles himself into the driver's seat with his seatbelt and gets everything arranged to where he likes it before turning on the car. But he doesn't say anything initially.
Ken wouldn't try not to pester him because he's being nice enough to give him a ride. He would tell him where. Do I know he's staying at the hotel?
You do not.
I would tell him that about the hotel where I'm staying at and give him the directions and
Huh.
just let the kind of let the silence hang there. If he doesn't want to talk, I wouldn't push it.
You're staying at the Dolphin.
Yes.
Interesting. So how long have you known Dana?
How long has it been in time in game?
Less than a couple weeks. If that.
Maybe less than a couple weeks, maybe less than a month.
And she's already hired you.
Yeah, I guess she saw something in me. I don't know. At least she seems amused when I'm around. She likes to take shots at me. That's probably half the reason that she hired me, aside from my looks.
You're too pretty for the armory, my boy. No, I think there's a different reason that she brought you. You're like her.
We are alike in some ways, that's true.
In a lot of ways, isn't it? I saw the way that you were playing that guitar. You may say that you were overwhelmed and nostalgic. But it was all technical. The passion left your eyes as soon as you started plucking. I could tell that you were easily bored with it by the time you finished. It's another toy. Another toy in the bin.
Well, we all have to keep amused somehow.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
What do you do for amusement?
Oh, I do a number of things. I garden.
At that, Ken will kind of laugh. I would not have pictured you in a garden. But to each their own.
Yes, to each their own. I am intrigued by you. Much in the same way that I'm intrigued by Dana. But Dana is one of my trusted confidants. I would hope that you don't do anything to sully hers and my relationship.
I don't think I could. I don't think Dana lets anybody in that close to be able to affect her that way.
I think you're similar. You don't let people in either, do you? It's vulnerable.
Call it a product of my youth. It's easier that way.
Product of your youth. Yes, the past always makes for the creation of armor the protection of the soul, if you believe in such a thing. The need to guard oneself from future harm. Am I right?
They're not wrong. They talked a lot about souls and the orphanage, but I never put much stock into it. I've seen enough of what people can do, and beyond that, I don't know if there is a God or if he just doesn't care. I just see the world for what it is.
And what kind of world do you see?
Most people would think that it's a nice world.
I didn't ask about their opinions.
There's a shiny veneer that, if you look underneath of it, there are things that are rotten. People that are cruel. It's marbled with all kinds of shit.
But it's shit like us that have to exist. Am I wrong?
No.
Then I think you and I are going to get along swimmingly.
That is good to hear. Thank you, by the way, for what you've been teaching me. It is,
It's stupid, because you're not going to be behind the bar.
now, yes, in hindsight, but skills are important. It's nice to have something to fall back on.
Should your pretty face fail, right?
I won't be pretty forever.
Some of us have never been pretty. And it's about that time that he's pulling up to the hotel, the front entrance, where you can see the large sliding glass doors and the tunnel-like awning that covers the sort of drive that leads up to this entryway, and you can see the very luxurious indoors of the front desk. And boy, can you not wait to get in there, because this car has a lot of history. And you can feel it weighing on you.
No, thank you for the ride. I appreciate it.
No problem.
You have a good night.
And you too. Kenny boy. And as soon as you have left the car and the door is shut, he begins to drive away, leaving you at the front entrance of the place you now call home. Rodney, was there anything else that you needed to finish up besides climbing out of the sewers to reach the hotel once more to finish off the night?
Nope, just that.
Then, this night comes to a close. As the holiday season of this lovely little city in Jackson is at its peak, the following day is Christmas, after all. And what joys will it bring? What little gifts did Santa leave for all of you when you wake? But we'll find that out when we come back from break. So don't go anywhere, everyone. We will be back with more War in the Soul City in just a few moments.